Hello, sister.
Hey, brother.
School has started. I had school today. I know it's Labor Day, but I still had school. I don't know. I'm really excited for my classes.
Every
We'll just get into it. I love all my classes so far. So
well, that's good.
I'm taking four classes, 13 hours. I'm taking a film analysis, of course, and then I'm taking data structures and algorithms, linear algebra, and then discrete mathematics. So
Exciting.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a computer science major. I feel like I should say that. Yeah. Um, and today I had my film analysis course, and we watched Wizard of Oz because there's like a mandatory screening every Monday night. I really hate the Wizard of Oz.
Have you seen it before?
I have, but I was like very young, and we watched it like I just came from it, and I really did not like it. I
Why?
really did not like it. Well, first off, I don't like musicals, just to begin with.
Oh my
Second
god.
of all, I don't like the lion's face. I don't like the way he laughs, and I feel like the plot was really dumb. Like it doesn't make any sense. But that's for another episode. I just don't like Wizard of Oz. That's it with me. I like my classes, so homework isn't that bad, because I like learning what I'm learning. So that's it since last episode. What about you?
I also watch Wizard of Oz. No, kidding.
Oh my gosh.
No, well, okay. So I don't really know. I've had a couple of questions about this, and I didn't know how I should kind of address it. This sounds weird, but so I think the audience that read my blog is listening to this. So that's why I wanted to just use this as the outlet to kind of talk about it.
Hmm.
But I used to, or I had a blog where well, okay. So the first thing is I had a movie challenge that I basically started. And I've done it before where I wanted to watch 365 movies in 1 year.
It's all over.
And yeah, and I've done it before, so I was like, well, let's just do it again. And there's a couple of reasons why I did that, but I'll get into that in a little bit. And so that time I was like, I decided that I wanted to, instead of just tweeting, which is what I did last time, I kind of wanted to make a blog, which is the like the third attempt of me trying to create a blog. And I'd been doing it for a while. It was kind of the only extra thing I had going on outside of work, so it was cool to have. It forced me to write more, and have a sort of deadline for myself. But as things usually do, everything last month and this month kind of piled on, and it just all happened at once. Because I have a full-time job, I do freelance work, I we started doing this, and it just all became a lot, and it started to become more of a chore than anything. And so I've decided to stop writing for that blog, and I've decided to stop pursuing that movie challenge that I set out. And I thought about this. I don't want it to seem like I was just like, oh, it's too hard, I don't want to do it. I thought about it a lot, and I don't know. I hopefully people relate to this, but when I started it out, it was like I said, it was the only thing I had outside of work. And I recently, this job is still recent. I started it last October, so I moved to a new city by myself, and I was kind like I said, I was kind of lost. I didn't really have much to do outside of work because I didn't have any friends here. So it was something that kept me busy and kept my mind on something. But now that my life is starting to pick up, which I expected it or I hoped it would, but I didn't expect it to happen this fast, I guess, or all at once, to where like now I have places to go on the weekends, I have people to hang out with. And on top of that, we're starting this, and I just wanted to put my energy into the things that, rather than half-ass a bunch of things, I wanted to whole-ass a couple of things, and so the blog had to go. But yeah, it sucks. I mean, if it still does feel like I'm quitting, you know?
No, yeah, I respect that. I mean, you've done it once before. Like you did watch a movie a day, essentially, in a year.
Yeah, and I kind of, like I said, I kind of had to just do some, I don't like some questioning of myself, kind of asking that, well, you've done this before, so what is the goal this time?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like I said, it's still it does still feel like I'm quitting, but
Nah, you're putting you're readjusting your efforts. We'll say that.
yeah. So it's a happy parting, and I'm not going to. I'm gonna keep all of the social media that I have for it and the actual website. I'm gonna keep it like active. I'm not gonna just get rid of it because
You
who
are still a
knows?
movie snob.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe I'll use it for something. Maybe I'll make a blog for this. I don't know. It's an exciting thing that it's one thing that I never expected to have so many things going on that I had to get rid of one. So that I guess that's the exciting part. But that was the main thing. And I also just came back from a little mini family vacation, sans you.
Was Homer there too?
Yeah.
Dang, he must have been happy.
Yeah, it was great. It was the best family vacation we've ever had.
That's so funny. What happened? What did I miss?
Nothing. Well, a couple of things. I don't know. You might not. I don't know if if you can keep this in. Homer might be mad, but I'll tell you a couple of stories. There was two things that happened within this like 10 minutes that Homer did or said. Now he didn't do anything, but he added to the Homerism files. But we were sitting at this one Mexican restaurant, and he ordered a beef fajita quesadilla. Him and
Okay.
Dad ordered the same one, and when they got it, we were eating, and Homer was like, well, I didn't expect to be cheese in here.
Oh my goodness.
And we were like, wait, what? Mom was like, it's a quesadilla. The word cheese is in it.
In his mind, what was gonna come out? Like
I
the
have no
waitress,
idea.
or the waiter's gonna come out and give him what?
I think he wanted a taco, but
Oh,
yeah, so
so
that was one thing.
this kind.
Oh no, so this is how they do it here. So that was the
Weird.
first thing. And not even 5 minutes later, we were talking about grandma's retirement, her party. And Homer wasn't listening, so he was like, "Wait, what are y'all talking about?" And we're like, "Oh, we're talking about the party favors for Grandma's retirement party." And he was like, "Oh, she's retiring from the mall, right?"
What?
And
The
like, no
fuck?
shade to people working at the mall. The funniest part is that she's worked at the same place for so long, and it's never been the mall.
Yeah, she's worked at the
And we
same
were
place for like 30 years. Where, like, not even our other grandma like, he didn't even confuse it with our other grandma. I don't think anyone in our family's ever worked in a mall.
I've never laughed so hard. And then the last thing, I hope he let you put this in because these are funny. But
I mean, these aren't like super
it's just Homer. Like,
intense. That's true.
but the last thing, which is kind of mean, but Dad, they only give us 3 towels, and there was 4 of us in the same hotel room. So Dad asked if they could bring more towels, and so the lady came up with like a bunch of towels, and she was like, "Oh, here's here's your towels," and she was kind of talking long and kind of weird. Like she was basically saying a long explanation for why she brought a bunch of towels. And Dad was like, "It's fine," and he started to close the door, and Homer said, "Creepy," and the door was still up.
Oh my goodness. What the hell? Oh my god.
It was amazing. I laughed. That's the hardest I've laughed in a while.
That's
Was
so
those three
funny.
times.
That's really funny.
But yeah, we just saw Emily. Emily sells stuff with Design Girl, which is her brand, I think
Yeah.
is what you would call it. But and they did well, and they had a little market. We went to go see the museum called the Sixth Floor, which is basically about Kennedy and like where he was shot and stuff.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. That's cool.
yeah, so it was cool. It was a good little mini Labor Day vacation. But yeah,
That's cool.
and segue. While I was there, I watched Insidious.
Oh, yeah, I watched it Friday or Saturday morning.
I watched it yesterday.
Oh, so it's very fresh on your mind.
Yeah,
All
and
right,
I
let's get
haven't seen
into
it in
it.
a long time, so and I took notes, and I because I never take notes, but I did this time.
Yeah, I saw you took notes in our
Mm-hmm.
Google Doc.
Sure
Okay.
did.
We'll just get straight into it. Do you want to go over like do you want to start?
I will start because my first note is basically from the very beginning. Um, like I said, I've seen this movie before a couple of times, but I hadn't seen it in a while. And one of the things that stood out to me was the opening scene and title card
That was
reveal.
the first thing I wrote too.
Is that I
Cuz
loved it, and I forgot it was that. I don't know. I loved how slow it was, and then it was a build up of where are we going, and it was just a good like a perfect scary movie start because it wasn't too scary.
mhm.
It shows you the world without actually it's kind of spoilery, but it doesn't really show much if you don't know the context. But
Yeah,
that's
so what
love
it
it.
is essentially the intro shot is of a ceiling lamp. And
Yeah.
then it's the camera turns and then you realize it's upside down and it's like the camera is upside down, your perspective changes, and then you pan down and then you see a kid in bed, and then you go through this house. But I really liked it. I don't know. It was really interesting because I don't think I'd ever seen anything like that, and it just stuck out to me.
It sets the tone very well.
Yeah, and along with that, or the thing that helped create that tone is violin. Of course,
Yes.
violin is a staple in scary movies. Just like in The Witch, there's a lot of. This one was like really intense though, like really intense violin.
Yeah, and it's also used in a totally different way.
Yeah, because
I
this one,
liked. Sorry, go on.
because in The Witch it was like more ominous. It was like I
Hmm.
guess slower, but then this one like those violin players must have been like banging the violin with their bow, you know.
Yeah, and I liked how one thing I forgot they did too, but this is kind of in a lot of the movies that this same production company does, like the Insidious, Conjuring, all those, where one instance, like specific instance, is when the dad is sleeping on the couch and he hears something, and as soon as he gets up, like when he reacts to it, the violin starts. It
Yeah.
has a little quick reaction. I really like how they did that because you wouldn't. I don't know if that's. I don't watch a lot of classic horror movies. That's one thing that is going to be very apparent in this recording. But it's the first that I've seen that's used music that way, and the fact that they use the music cues so differently, like in The Witch. Obviously, this one's before that, but they use it all so differently and make it more creative
Hmm.
is really cool because him getting up and like the scene of him or the shot of him just getting up and hearing something and realizing something going wrong is not scary within itself,
Hmm.
but adding that music kind of like, oh shit, something's happening.
Yeah, and it's the
So
same
yeah.
instrument and the way that they use it. It's really interesting to see the amount like the range they get based on the violin. It's really
Yeah.
cool. And the director James Wan, he also helped edit the movie, which was really cool. I
Yeah.
like that he did more than just direct, which is a lot, but it's even more impressive that he also helped edit. And he could have had sure he was one of the people to say, "Hey, we should cue the violin as soon as he gets up."
Well, and I saw an interview with him and I think of the producer or the writer. It was one of the guys, one of the like Geek Squad looking guys, the one that would write everything she said.
Oh yeah.
He produced, I don't know what he did in this first one, but in the newer ones, he's directed a couple and I think written a couple.
Okay.
Either way, he's like super involved in the making of it. And I saw an interview with them and they said how they were really they were researching, whenever they would research and look at like horror movies, and they tried to stray away from the the overused tropes and the overused jump scares. And
Yeah,
and a lot of people say that, but I really like how they actually did that, and you can see how they did that.
for sure.
There's so many cool inventive ways that they tried to scare you, and a lot of them worked,
Oh
which
yeah, for
doesn't happen
sure.
a lot.
Yeah, well, I have a couple that I can just think of right now, but we'll get that into a little bit.
Okay.
Um, so um, after that like opening shot, the scariest part of the movie, arguably, is that the mom and the kid have matching pajamas, and they're really gross pajamas.
And also, just
The
her and that kid. Not she has two other kids.
Yeah, I know, right? Favoritism. I mean,
That's why that little shit got haunted. It was the
yeah,
favorite.
honestly, kind of deserved it. That mom, that mom, like, she got everything. She, I kind of feel bad for her, but she bought those pajamas, so she kind of deserved it.
Well, that, I mean, I guess speaking about that, the whole family dynamic, now after, this is okay, now this is my Interstellar. I'm gonna mention it every damn time.
Ooh.
But
I wasn't even
it
gonna mention
reminded
it.
me, it reminded me so much of Hereditary. The themes of it, and obviously, I wouldn't have been able to notice that when I first watched it, because this is the first time I've seen it post Hereditary. But just the theme of being haunted by shit passed down from you,
Yeah,
or even like, I mean, the mom. So the mom is a good example of just the different relationship tropes that they had in this, where she nothing was passed down to her, but she has to deal with the shit that her husband
yeah,
is bringing to the table, and it was only her.
yeah. Like
And
he didn't say
that
anything until like it was too late, pretty much.
exactly, that's very true of a man. They don't say shit at the right time ever.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of annoying, cause I mean, obviously from our perspective or from the viewer's perspective, like we can see this, like it's so obvious to us, and he just kind of looked like a jerk, cause he's like whatever, and then like this is later on, but he like said that he had to stay late for work, but he just was asleep. Like what the hell was that?
My note was that I like to think that he's using this all as an excuse, but in reality, he just like hates them.
Yeah, yeah. He's
You
like,
can grade
ah,
you can grade those tests at home, bitch. You don't have to be at school. That doesn't
yeah.
make any sense.
I was thinking of was like he, it didn't make any sense. It really didn't make any sense why he didn't want to be there. He's like, this is my weight. I just handle it different. I just don't want to deal with it. Or he was saying something like that, like he didn't want to deal with it, or how they handle it differently.
Yeah, that was total bullshit. That I was so pissed. I don't remember hating him that much, but now watching this, like when I'm older, I hated him so much.
Yeah, he was
He
pretty
didn't
annoying.
do shit. How do you not? I mean, even if you think she's crazy, because I guess I would, to give him some benefit of the doubt, I guess I would think if my significant other was saying that they're haunted and I don't believe that shit, then I don't know. Maybe I would. I don't think I would react that way where I would just ignore it
Yeah,
and just
brush it
stay
off.
away. Yeah, I mean, I would at least try to help them if they really think it's haunted.
Yeah, I don't know. He could have handled it better, but I mean, he kind of got what he deserved at the end. But we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Um, what else do I have? So we talked about pajamas, of course. Uh, when the fireplace turned on by itself, or like this, I don't know what else to call it. Like in the attic
Oh, the furnace.
furnace. There you go. That's where I would leave. Cause how the hell would that turn on by itself?
I know she would just look at it like, oh, yeah, that's what furnaces do.
I was kind of cold. Thank you, demon. Like what the hell? Doesn't make any sense.
That's one thing I kept thinking is because I was watching it obviously when I was in a hotel room with our family, but I just kept thinking like, what would I do if I was the little kid, for example, and you were haunted, like you were in a coma and we didn't know what happened. And I was like, yeah, I don't like when he walks around at night. Like, I don't know what the fuck I would do.
Oh
Because you
yeah.
can't, because when you're that young, I mean, now if I was like, say I was staying over at mom and dad's and we were all there because we were staying for Christmas, if you started doing creepy shit at night, I would just fucking leave. But when I'm younger, there's no, you can't leave. And you can't just
You,
kick your sibling out, you
you
know?
just close the door on him, right? That's what I would do. I'd probably go in the closet. I don't
Lock
know,
the
because I
door.
shared a room with Homer. If he started doing some weird stuff, I think I'd just be gone. I'd be the first to go.
I mean, I have absolutely no idea what I would do, especially that young. And if you were to tell any sort of parent, they'd be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, there's no way he's walking.
And
Yeah.
then that's another thing too. And when I was watching it with mom, and that part where the kid said, "I don't like when Dalton walks around." I don't know what the hell I would do if my kid said some creepy shit like that.
Oh, mom would probably like hit us or something. No,
She
she wouldn't hit
doesn't
us.
hit us.
No, she's never hit us. I
No, I did
honestly
ask
don't.
her. I
Oh,
asked
you
her if
did?
we ever I was like, did we ever do creepy shit like that? And she said that she couldn't remember who it was. She knew it was either me or Emily, where in the middle of the night we would walk to their room if we had like a bad dream or something, but we wouldn't wake her up. We would just stare at her and she would wake up and see us.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine?
I can't. I'd punch my daughter if they did that.
But out of a reflex, you don't know that's your kid. It's just
Yeah,
some
yeah.
random.
No, no, no. I do know that's my kid, and they shouldn't be doing that.
Oh my God.
Well, I know the only time I ever slept walk was it's kind of a funny story.
The
I
hat one?
think, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you guys were having a sleepover, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I slept walk into our basement where you guys uh it sounds like you guys were like living in a basement. But you guys had rooms in like the lower part of our house, and
Yeah.
I walked down the stairs, which is kind of impressive to not just like fall. And I peed in a basket of hats. Like mid sleepover, I just peed in a bucket of hats.
And we just watched the whole thing happen. We were like, "Oh, hi, Anthony," and you just walked, and you knew exactly where you were going too, which is kind of creepy. So I guess this did happen to me, and I should have like punted you or something.
Tackled me. I,
I
I
don't know what we did. I think we just threw the hats in the like washer, and then we were like, "Oh, we'll just tell mom in the morning."
I remember waking up in a towel and you guys were like looking at me or
Yeah.
something like that. I don't know.
Little
That's
fucking weirdo.
all right. Moving on. So, um, I noticed when Dalton got hurt, Dalton, the kid who gets possessed, he got hurt in the attic. That was like
Mhm.
the first time, that I noticed that organ was used, and I loved
Mhm.
the way that was used because it was like it really hit you in the face. I really like that.
Well, I guess a little bit after that, I don't know, I don't remember. It was either after or before that, when the mom was in the house by herself. One thing that I noticed that I loved was how sometimes they would frame the shots to be really like a handheld, shaky kind of shot and
Yeah,
far away. So it looked like somebody was staring at her from the other room.
very similar to The Witch,
Exactly, where you're putting the viewer in the position of
the antagonist.
we're not just watching a movie, we're kind of like trying to be sneaky and watching it from afar and we're a part of it and it makes you uncomfortable. That was really smart. And they did that a lot,
Yeah,
even from the very beginning, because you don't notice until the end after you watch it again that that shot isn't just them panning, that's actually the journey he would take whenever he was sleeping.
yeah, which super awesome. And I can't even begin to think about making a movie where I'm that smart directing. It's insane.
It's very cool.
hmm And I really liked the baby monitor, like scary part. Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
goodness.
Mom
I
had issues with that though.
What do you mean?
She didn't like how, I mean, the scare is cool, but she didn't like how the lady took so long to go upstairs. Because
Oh
there's
yeah,
obviously somebody whispering to your kid.
for sure. That was just added for dramatic effect,
Yeah.
but it was cool nonetheless. Cause like I don't know, that's super creepy, and I don't think I've ever seen that in any other horror movie.
I think I have it there. I'm sure it's been used in a Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, but this was very cool. I really liked it.
But yeah.
All right, what
Another
else we got?
question I had is how do they afford that house on a teacher's salary?
That's very true.
And she
A
didn't
teacher's
work.
salary, and she writes songs that were bad.
I said that. I asked mom, I was like, how the hell did they afford this house? And he's a teacher. And she was like, well, she writes songs, so there you go.
The rest, the rest is history. Like that answers it. Did you hear her songs? They were not good.
No, yeah, they were terrible. She was an okay singer. But and also, is she was she writing music to be like a I just don't understand her end game. I mean, I know that's not part of the movie, but to add that in seems very weird. Did they even use the piano in any scare or anything?
No, but I feel like that would have been too cliche. Like, oh my gosh, the piano's playing itself. Wow.
Why add the whole music thing then? The teacher
Uh,
thing, I guess, kind of made sense. They used it in some ways, but
I guess to show that she is just at home all the time.
hmm,
I don't know.
just a weird little side note to have, I guess. I don't know.
Answer us that, Mr. Wan, okay? I know you're listening to this.
First question, how dare you? Second, music, why is it not good?
um, all right. A little Easter egg in here that I noticed. I didn't even have to look it up. I noticed it
The
because
big ass puppet?
yeah, yes, the jigsaw puppet on the chalkboard. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It was on the chalkboard. It stood out. That's it. That's all I had to say.
Literally everybody knows that. That's like the number one Easter egg, and they didn't even try to hide it.
Well, I found it, so
You're probably pretty proud of yourself. Hmm.
yeah, I wrote it down. I was like, man, I'm so ready to talk about this.
I'm so smart.
Your boy's wicked smart.
Well, there you go. You are very smart. You should be proud of yourself.
Thank you. Well, one thing that I noticed that really bothers me, and I realize that it happens all the time, and I don't just know if like people who play records don't care about their records in movies, but like, why do they play it in the middle? They always put the needle in the middle of
Maybe
the
she
vinyl
wanted
itself.
maybe she wanted a certain song.
Like, she just placed it willy nilly. Like she doesn't even care where it starts from. Like, don't you want to start from the beginning?
Well, when you're as gifted musically as she is, then you should already know
You can
exactly what
tell which ring is the
exactly.
part where you want it.
Exactly. What else do you think she does when she's home all day?
But I noticed it's with like all movies. It happens all the time. They just put it wherever.
I know, you know how long it takes me to try to put my and I never place it on there like that. How reckless is that?
That's what I'm saying.
I
People don't.
lower
They
it.
really don't care. It takes me forever.
Start a petition.
That's just something I noticed, and I realized it bothered me. I know it shouldn't, but it does.
I like that song though that it changed into. I used to have that as a ringtone.
Why?
I don't know. I was edgy.
Um, let's see where else I have. I noticed you ran out of notes, but I still
I
have more.
sure did. You like halfway through it, I was like, yeah, this notes thing isn't for me.
Well, I don't know. I have my laptop there. Um. Oh, okay. So this is the part where you were talking about how they like bend the horror norms and they start scaring people like you wouldn't be expecting it like that.
Hmm.
All right. So it was really the whole sequence where the mom is telling the story
Oh
about
yeah.
about her dream. Oh
Hmm.
my goodness. Okay, so when you see the demon and he picks up his finger and he points, you can hear a little crack, right?
Hmm.
And then it cuts back to her saying how she couldn't forget his face and voice, and then you can hear the crack, and then she looks up, and then that's where that shot is, and it's so beautifully put together because as soon as you hear that creak, because it was where the demon was pointing, it subliminally sends you a message saying, "Hey, the demon's about to be there." But it happens so fast that you don't even have time to register it, and it's such a cool scare because it happens during the day, and you really don't see it coming. It's so awesome. I love that sequence. It's probably my favorite part of the movie.
I think it's mine too. When I first watched it, I was like, "Holy shit!" That's when I knew I really liked it. I knew it was good, but there's a lot of movies where I know at a certain point where I'm like, "Oh shit, this is a very good movie." And I
Yeah.
think that was it because I didn't because that like you said, I've never seen that before.
Hmm.
And that was the way they decided to reveal how he looked too.
Yeah, because he was all like shadows, but
Yeah.
very cool. I just really liked how we use sound in that sequence. Super super awesome. Let's see. I only have three more notes, so
Okay.
it won't take super long. One is that the demon had hooves of a goat. Goats are gross.
I don't remember. I didn't remember that part.
Yeah, I didn't remember that either.
That's
But
like the perfect, I think he's the perfect combination for a scary monster.
Darth
Darth
Maul,
Maul as a
Darth,
goat, yeah.
Darth Maul is a goat. A centaur of
Perfect.
sorts.
But I like Darth Maul. So, I mean, he's scary, obviously, but I also like him. My
Yeah.
favorite part, one of my favorite parts of the movie is when, oh, this is jumping ahead, but it's fine, is when the dad goes and tries to get his son. And so he's trying to take off first of all, those little shackles were very easy to take off. And so he took
Hold
them
on,
off.
son. And then he puts takes it off, puts it back on, takes it off, puts it back on.
He takes them off. And then the kid's like, oh my God, he's looking at us. And
And
he
he like
looks.
licks.
And but the way he's like resting his hand is just how he's just checking him out. Like it reminded me of like how grandpa like looks outside, how he like
Oh
leans
my,
over.
like arm up,
Yeah.
just like
Oh, so good. I love
it's
that
really
part.
funny. But yeah,
There's another part I can't remember it though, but that's my favorite part.
yeah. The more I saw the demon, the least I was like creeped out by him. The less I was creeped out by him.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I think it works in the context it's at. He obviously looks a little like campy, but I don't mind it.
Yeah, like whenever Dalton's like running inside the house and then the
Oh, when
demon
he's on the
comes out,
wall.
yeah, that part made me laugh because he just looks so funny. Like I wasn't
Yeah,
scared by that at all. I wasn't creeped out at it by all.
the scariest part, or the scariest he was during her dream thing when you couldn't see him. When you only saw his hands,
Hmm.
that was the scariest to
Yeah,
me.
I think after he like you see him sharpening his little fingers or his gloves, whatever they were, that's where you it kind of lost it for me. At least like the creepiness aspect. For sure, he's creepy, but not as much as he was during the beginning
Not
or when he first.
terrifying. He kind of moved to like unsettling.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Um, that was pretty much my last note, or this is my last note. It's a pretty baller way to end the movie. The way it ended, how he like choked her out, or I guess the lady in the dress
Elise?
like possessed, yeah, possessed. What's his name, Josh,
Yeah.
and then choked out Elise. That was pretty funny. And he's like, what did he say to her? Because the wife came in. He was like, "Honey, it's me," and she's like, and then it ends. And then the Insidious like uh
Title card.
yeah, the title card showed, and I really like that font. I like how it was like 3D.
Yeah, and it looks like it's like there's a fire underneath it to light
Mhm.
it.
It reminds me of the intro to Hellboy, the original.
Oh
I don't know if
God.
you remember that, but
Not the intro, but I know the movie, but
The intro. We don't have to get into it. It just reminds me of it.
I want to see somebody edit Hellboy into this. Take the
Do
red
you think?
monster out and
Do you
put
think he's
Hellboy.
like a cousin of Hellboy?
Maybe.
That's
He's the
really
weird
funny.
cousin nobody
Yeah,
talks to.
just sharpening his knives at family reunions. Get a load of this guy.
Maybe.
That's funny.
Yeah, I really like the ending. I kind of whenever there's endings like that where they leave it open for a second movie, I usually it makes me roll my eyes, but I liked it. I didn't mind it.
That was pretty cool. I liked it.
I wouldn't have cared. I think it would have been cool if they didn't have a second movie and that's how it ended. And you just
I
never know like
Yeah.
how the family turns out, but from what I remember, I don't care for the second one as much, but it's not terrible. But I honestly don't remember
I
what
can't.
happens in it.
Yeah, I don't really remember.
But I liked how they ended it. I liked the actors. I think they were believable as a family. The dad was an asshole a little bit, but
Yeah.
you could tell he like loved his kids, so I guess
hmm
that's
Yeah, especially in that scene where he's looking at the pictures and he's like crying.
okay. I'm glad you brought that up because are you talking about the ones that he drew? The
Do
kid drew?
you
Okay.
think he was just crying because they were so bad?
No. Well, that too. But when that happened, I was watching it with mom and I was like, "Wait, how are they just noticing this now? They obviously probably hung them up. The kid didn't hang them up himself. How the fuck did they not notice? Oh, like, oh, this is a cute little drawing of a demon. Oh."
I didn't even think about that.
And he literally drew he like wrote it somewhere. I leave my body at night. And they're like, "What could this be? Where is he? I don't understand."
That's so
Bunch of
funny. I didn't even think
dumbasses.
about that.
Yeah, I
That would have
mean,
been me, just like, oh my god, where did I go wrong?
but whatever. I mean, that doesn't. There's obviously little things where I'm like, okay, come on,
Yeah.
but
The one thing that made me go like that was when, towards the end, when Dalton is okay and they're like, it's her mom, and then the grandma, her name's, was it Lorraine? I don't remember the mom's name because I don't know. But she's like, "You're never going to sleep. You're never going to sleep ever again." He's like, "No, I'm not. I'm asleep." And she's like, "No, you're not." And that happens for so long.
I know they cut back to them and they're still saying that.
Yeah, you're never going to sleep now.
Also, it looked like he was eating just spaghetti noodles with no sauce on it. No wonder he's fucking
That-
hungry.
Yeah, that's why he wanted to get possessed. He just wanted food.
You're never gonna sleep ever. You're never gonna sleep. No, you're not gonna sleep. Oh, you're never gonna sleep. And the woman's like, I think there's somebody getting murdered in the other room. Also, how the fuck did they not hear that?
He's
It's
like,
not a big house. He was like yelling. What did he yell? He
"Why
was just
would
yelling over and over again. Why? Why? Or
you?
maybe not that.
You know how I feel."
Why would you do that? You know how that make me feel.
It was really
But
funny.
yeah, I mean, there's little things like that where I'm like, come on.
Yeah, that.
He's yelling at the top of his lungs and you can't hear him in the
Yeah,
other room.
but you can hear like something drop. I don't know. It was really weird.
But
All right.
overall, it's a good movie. I like it a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
It's
I'd say the same. Towards the end, kind of lose me.
yeah, but I don't know. I don't see there's like other than the witch and creep, there's some things I would change about this. The other ones I feel like they're kind of perfect. I wouldn't change much about it, but this one there's a little bit of things I would change.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I have some fun facts. I don't know if you've read them already.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh
one of
my
them
gosh.
I had in my notes, but
Oh.
whatever.
Well, the first one that floored me was that it was shot in 3 weeks,
Which is really cool.
which is cool because I mean, now thinking about it, mm, I think that's you can kind of tell like it's not a bad movie and it has really high quality, but some of the shots are really simple.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. There's not like a crazy VFX, which is
No.
all post, but it wouldn't be
Yeah,
hard to get
that's the one
those.
thing I would want to know is how long post production was because this is just how long it was shot.
Probably longer. especially to get that demon running on the wall. How funny! Like
Yeah.
that's why I was
Good
laughing too, because it didn't look that good.
week.
It looked like, you know how you have like the VFX like apps when something like something explodes. It kind of looked
Oh
like it was
yeah,
made by one of
filter
those. Yeah.
kind of.
But yeah,
Um,
that's really impressive. 3 weeks, not bad.
the next one is the original name was supposed to be The Further. And I wondered which one you liked more, Insidious or The Further?
I like Insidious more just because I don't like the in it. Insidious is plain,
Uh,
and I like the way the title was incorporated in Elise's story because it was really cool because it was like, and then there are spirits that are more insidious, and then it
okay.
resonated more with me
She
than
said
I
that
think.
have a more insidious agenda,
Oh,
but
either way, it resonated more with me than I call it the further.
I hated when she said that. I was like, of course you do. I like to call them travelers. Girl, Jesus.
They
How often do you talk about these people? And then the next one, is this the one you had in your notes?
Yeah, that's the one I had.
So
Oh,
33 violins were used for the theme music.
which I can see because it was really loud and it was very
Yeah.
powerful. It packed a punch.
I would
So
love to be in that room. You know how they have, I wonder
I'd
if they do
cry.
this, but you know how they have like the traveling ones with where they play John Williams? Is that
Oh
what it
yeah,
is?
yeah. They play along with the movie.
Yeah. I would want to see that for this movie. That
Any
would be
horror
really
movie would be
cool.
really cool.
Anyone, but this one specifically because they use that many violins and I like the way they use them.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine watching Interstellar as Hans Zimmer
Alrighty.
plays the organ?
So the next
Oof.
one is that
Oof. Man, that'd be so
Ethan
awesome.
Hawke turned down the role of Josh Lambert, which is the dad.
Hmm.
Do you think the movie would have been made better or worse?
Uh,
How like in general, how do you think it would have affected the movie?
well, I don't. I would buy their relationship probably less because I don't think she would marry Ethan Hawke.
You know, it's interesting
Hmm.
that you said that. There is a movie where they do play love interests.
Are you
I know.
serious?
Yeah,
That's really
sorry.
funny.
My cat just scared the shit out of me. But yeah. Yes,
That's
there's a
really
movie
funny.
where play they're like kind of going out, but then at the
Are they
end
married? Do they have kids?
not not in the beginning of the movie. It's called, if anybody's interested, I won't spoil it, but they
You
do play
kind of
love
did.
interest. It's called Juliet Naked. It's not a good movie, but I did see it in
Because they were
theaters.
lovers.
That No, it wasn't a good movie for tons of reasons. But but I also didn't I mean it I would have bought that they were buyed. I would have bought that they were a couple maybe. In this movie it was okay, but it was about that relationship, so you got to see it build. And this one you just see them as they're married with kids.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would have believed it as much as you might have.
I would have definitely wanted a different mom.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was just thinking same movie but
Just
different.
him. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Is that I think that's what have affected it to me is maybe they would have casted a different mom, but who knows?
I wonder why he turned it down.
Yeah, I didn't look into it, but it was a good choice. I like the other what's his name? Damn it, I don't know his name. I like the other guy a lot. I
Yeah,
think
he's
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 a good
nice.
actor.
He's cool.
Yeah, and then the next one, the composer, which his name is Joseph Bishara. I hope I said that right. Also acts in the film, and he plays Goat Darth Maul, which apparently his name, which is on IMDb, maybe this wasn't actually what he was billed, but it's called the Lipstick Face Demon. And I have many
He's
questions.
he's definitely the reject of the demon family. He's definitely the reject.
The first of which being, why that name? There's so many different names you could give him. Just call him Demon. Lipstick Face? That's not the only thing that's red.
Well, I remember I was going through IMDb and like I saw that the handprint that he put on the bed, it was actually lipstick. It wasn't blood.
Oh, so maybe that's why they called it. Oh wait, that the demon did?
Yeah, just to show that he was there.
Why not use blood? I mean, I love a demon that's resourceful, but why not use blood?
I don't know.
He's scared of blood. The demon that's scared of blood.
Wow. The demon. Ah, I don't even know what to do with that information. I think we're done with fun facts. I think we're done with
He's the
Insidious
first
after that.
anemic demon.
Yeah, I don't know. It just
Wait,
makes me like not feel comfortable. Like that's his voice. I just don't like it.
talking to the other little ghosts.
Yeah, bro, we don't care. We just want to be alive again, bro. Yeah, but like blood just ew.
I really want to be a human, but the blood.
If I could do that without the blood, that'd be perfect.
Is looking up how to live as a human without blood inside of you.
Do humans really need blood?
How essential is blood to living? Alrighty.
All right, Insidious over. It was a good movie, except for lipstick face demon, but whatever.
I like him. I'd have a drink with him.
All
In his
right.
little shop of horrors.
Okay. All right. Let's do this segment. Let's do this week's segment. Let's do it. I'm ready for this. So
Okay.
this week we chose favorite scary movies. So
I did top 5. I guess we
Yeah.
should have said top 5 scary movies.
top
But
5.
let me qualify this. So, this is not the scariest movies that we've seen. This is not, I guess that's the big thing. This is not like, this is personal to us. So don't at me with how did you leave this out? How did you? I don't care what other people's favorite scary movies are. These are mine.
Yeah, reach
We
out
got
to
a
us.
good, yeah, we got a good amount of submissions, and I would like to hear other people's, but don't be like, oh, how did you leave this out? How did you leave? Because it's not my favorite. This is subjective.
We received a whopping number this time. We actually doubled what we got last time.
And I actually think, unless I saw some that unless I didn't see some that were submitted, I I think I shared 2 of them. Like 2 of them are on my list already.
Yeah, I wrote mine on my notes like as I was watching uh Insidious, and I didn't even see yours, and we already share some. So I guess you can start since I think I started with my movie last year or last not last year, last
Last
episode.
time.
Yeah.
Let's do counting down from 5, but we can each say like I'll say my number 5 and then you say your number 5 and we'll go from there.
Okay, that sounds good.
So my number 5, okay, and also these change a lot. So this is currently. This might change, but right now, and I'm still bad at like this list is not just does not sit well with me. Like I feel like I left some out, but whatever. So number 5 for me, which was submitted by one of my friends, was Sinister.
Yeah.
And I changed it after I saw that he put it because I totally forgot about that movie. I remembered it because when I saw the Ethan Hawke thing, because I was like, oh, I forgot he's in Sinister, and I forgot about the
Yeah.
movie. But yeah, I guess like a quick reason why is because it uses the found footage. It's kind of a hybrid of found footage, but also like a regular scary movie, but it uses it in such a unique way. And the
Gotcha.
person that's haunting him is actually scary. I was actually scared of him.
Yeah, I've never seen the movie, but I've seen stills of that guy, and he
You've
looks
never
like
seen it?
no.
Okay. But yeah, that's number 5.
Well, I didn't order mine.
You didn't?
Well, I kind of actually
Order
as I
them
was
now.
writing it.
Do it.
All right, done. All right, so number 5. I haven't seen a lot of horror movies. I'll say that.
It's fine. It's fine. It's from your experiences. Nobody will
From my
judge you.
experience. Okay, number 5. I've actually never seen.
Oh my god.
But it's probably the one that's impacted me the most without having seen it, and it's Saw. Because I've
You know
never
what
seen
though? It's good. The first one is really good.
it. I mean, I've never seen it, but it's impacted me a lot.
Will you never see it?
At this moment, probably not, because I'm busy. No, I'm not against it, but nothing is pushing me to see it.
It's
So,
good. It has one of the best endings I've ever seen.
oh, okay.
I almost put it on my list because of that ending, but
Oh,
I
really?
didn't. Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, just that one still of the puppet was enough to make it on my list.
Alrighty. So number 4 is kind of my wild card. When I was researching, just looking at scary movies, this was one that I originally wouldn't have put in there, but I did. It's a movie called Bone Tomahawk, and I told
Hmm.
you to watch it. I think you've seen it, right?
It's funny that you say that. It's my number four.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Twins.
really, really good
It's
movie.
it's disturbing. I don't like a lot of scary movies that are just outright disturbing, but this one disturbed me on like a whole nother level.
Yeah, this
But it's
one.
such a good movie though. So I wasn't mad at it. There's some movies where I'm like The Human Centipede where I'm like that was disturbing, but it didn't earn any of that disturbingness. This one totally earned it, and it's so well made, well written, well acted. It's perfect. I love it.
Yeah, that one. That one did something to me. That one took something from me too. Yeah.
I know. I did. I think when I told you to watch it, I was like, it will mess you up. Don't watch
Yeah.
it and be like, oh, it's not that bad. It will mess
I'm a
you up.
pretty messed up person, right? And it impacted me. Let's just
Yeah.
say that. Like, I honestly want to rewatch it because it was really good, even though it messed me up like insanely. But fantastic movie. Can't recommend it enough if you have not seen it.
Yeah, but I do give that, I guess, what's the word?
Like caution,
Yeah, that it's a lot.
not for the faint of heart,
No,
for sure.
but it's very good.
Yeah,
Okay.
number
So
three.
then at my number 3 is The Blair Witch Project. And I know a lot of people, this is another one I recommend to people and they don't like it. But I like it mostly I think it's a good movie, but I also like the lore of it. I like that when it first came out, people thought it was real. No, they didn't really advertise it. They didn't promote it how they promote movies now.
Yeah,
How I understand, they just put it out. And so people thought, because it's kind of a documentary style, found footage style, and people thought it was real, and it's that scared the shit out of people. And obviously when I saw it, it was long after it was released, so I knew it wasn't, but it was still scary. And but it's one of those movies too that me as my messed up self watches it and I'm like, oh, I could do that. And it's very inspiring to filmmakers, especially that want to do horror film, that you don't have to have these huge budgets or you don't have to have the VFX. You can just make a movie. And if you have the will and the want to do it, then you can. But yeah.
yeah,
So that's like a wholesome reason to like it, but it's pretty scary and I like it a lot.
for sure. Good one. I didn't put that one, but the next one I have, number three is It Follows.
Mm,
I
I
really
had that
like
on my
that.
list, but it got knocked out. Yeah.
That one's on Netflix, and I don't know. It's a really interesting concept, and it was pretty creepy. So I liked it. So I made it number three for me. As simple as that. I didn't really think a lot about it.
No,
But
that's
if
a
I
good one. I had it, like I said, I had it on my list, but every time I saw a new one, I had to knock it down and it didn't make it. But if I could put number 6, then it probably would be there.
yeah.
Um, my number 2 is very obvious, but it's Hereditary.
Hmm.
I I've seen this movie so many times that I don't really see it as a horror film anymore. I mean, I know it's scary,
My
but
first
to
time
me
watching it, I
it's
was pretty creeped out.
yeah, me
For
too,
sure.
but I just people It's kind of weird. Like I watch a lot of movies, especially scary movies, like casually now. I just watch them so many times. I just like watching them.
You're
Just like if I
numb.
was to watch like Mean Girls or something, so it kind of loses that lore. But I think that's the sign of a good scary movie that even if it doesn't scare you anymore, you still like to watch it, just
Hmm.
because you have a good time or
Yeah,
whatever. So it's one of my favorite movies of all time, but it's number two in the scary, I guess, scary side of it.
I didn't realize it. I really did not look at your list. Mine is Hereditary too,
Oh God.
but I promise our number one isn't the same. But yeah,
Okay.
Hereditary. I mean, we watched it together pretty recently. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you've seen it since then, but
Not
it
yet. No.
was. It's. It's the first movie that I can remember watching, and besides Interstellar, of course, and just like really taking in the story and looking into it and doing research after the movie and learning so much about it and just being so interested in it after watching it. So it's
Yeah.
I still think about that movie and the way it's written a lot. So definitely number two.
Those stick with you a lot. For
Mhm.
me, the movie that did that for me, that got me into movies and made me realize that movies can actually make you feel shit and also you can interact with it after is The Social Network. And I
Oh
saw that when
yeah,
I was in high school, I think. And that
really good
changed how
movie.
I watch movies forever. But yeah.
Interstellar
Oh,
will always be
oh
my one.
God. My one and only. All right, so my number one is one of my favorite movies of all time. I It was the first movie that I used to be really scared of scary movies, but it's the first one that I watched that I was terrified, but I was so interested in it. And I think when I first saw the trailer, everything, I was obsessed with it and I wanted to see it. I wanted to know everything about it. And it is Paranormal Activity, the first one, not any of the other ones. And it's to this day, I haven't seen it in a long time and I should see it. Maybe during October, I'll just watch a bunch of them, but it is a perfect movie to me. Just the way it was made, how simple it was to make, how cheap it was. I loved it. And it was one of the first limited release movies that I got to see. Um but yeah. I don't know. I can't really get into it without getting super into it, but it is the perfect movie. I love it. I love that it has three different endings that circulate through the internet, and I just I can't say enough about how much I love it. And they
Fantastic movie.
obviously, yeah, and they obviously fucking ruined it with the other ones, but the first one I still hold near and dear to my heart. I
Yeah,
love it.
you had a party
Oh
based
yeah.
on Paranormal Activity.
Well, yeah, that's another thing too, is that I didn't have a party based on it. That's kind of weird. No, I would have they would obviously come out in October during my birthday, like around my birthday. And so that's what I would do usually every year. I think the first one came out, I think when I was a freshman. And so every year a new one came out, and that's what we would do for my birthdays. We would go, like me and my friends would go watch the new one. So it has a lot of good memories with it too.
Yeah, but that one, the first one at least, is one that I think I'll think about for a very long time, just because it was so unique around the time that it came out too.
Yeah.
Because if you think of other movies around the time, I mean, I can't think of another horror movie that was like that.
Well, it really, it didn't invent the found footage.
Yeah,
There's been a tons of them, but it kind of revamped it and it made a new era for it. And
yeah,
good or bad, whatever, there's tons of found footage that are terrible, but it it made, like I said, it made me like how Social Network made me love movies in general. Paranormal Activity made me love scary movies and appreciate them and see, oh, you don't have to do what I don't know, I can't even think of a scary movie before that, but it didn't have to do what other scary movies were doing. It could do so much more with so little.
yeah,
And yeah, and I wonder if it came out around the time Social Network did.
maybe.
That's when my whole movie renaissance happened for me. So that's why all my movies, a lot of my references and the movies that I love are after that, after Social Network and after Paranormal Activity. So that's why that's why you don't know what Citizen Kane is, and that's why it's like
It's Kane
I
Citizen.
have
No, we're watching that next week,
oh
actually.
god.
So I'll be ready.
Don't ever tell anybody in that class to listen to this podcast.
Just skip episode 3, please.
But yeah, so that's why my references are super early, like super
Outdated? Yeah, we know.
not outdated. They're
Which is
actually
fine.
not. They're super I don't know how to say it. But you know what I mean? Like I don't watch a lot of classic movies and I don't claim to, so I don't know why people think I do, but yeah.
Yeah, Mom, what the hell?
I know. That and I
Uh,
guess I could explain that or I could like mention that Dad put The Exorcist and I didn't I don't know, well, I guess I should have waited for you to say your number 1, but
wow. Wow.
that's like one
Way
of
to
those
undercut.
that well, that's like is that your number 1?
No, that's not.
Oh,
I've never seen it before.
I have and it's not I don't know. Maybe that's another conversation for another day, but it's a whole generational thing. Like to mom and dad, it's one of the scariest movies they've ever, or the scariest movie they've ever seen. And when I watched it, I was kind of bored.
Yeah, it'll probably be the
It's
same.
an okay movie, but it's not scary to me at all. But it's a generational thing. I mean, my kids
Yeah.
are gonna have movies that are way more fucking scary, and they're gonna think Paranormal
Hereditary,
Activity is
what the
stupid.
hell?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They'll get kicked out of the damn house.
No,
Sorry, you're number
I
1.
was gonna say something about Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
I think the reason it resonates with me so much, or just the reason I think about it, is because I remember feeling so scared for that guy, and I remember, uh, like that girl being really creepy, because she kind of reminds me of. It's kind of dark. Never mind.
Don't say it. I know what you're gonna say. Don't say it.
Okay.
But
She's just creepy. I don't know. I remember that. All right, my number
yeah.
one movie is It Comes at Night.
Okay.
I really like that movie. We saw that together in the theater, I
Yeah,
believe.
we
And
did.
I really like that because it's kind of a zombie movie, you know,
Mm.
but you don't see them until the super end, or you don't learn what's happening until pretty much the end. I haven't seen it since we saw it
Yeah.
when it was released, but I really liked the writing, just from what I remember.
It's good. I didn't think you would pick that, but it's good.
Yeah. Well, what did you think I was gonna pick?
I don't know. Maybe like The Conjuring or something.
Nah, It Comes at Night. That one was a really good movie. I really liked
It's
it.
a good movie. A lot of people don't like it. I had a conversation with somebody that didn't like it, but
I
I
don't remember
loved
how
it.
it ends. Maybe I need to rewatch it, and maybe it won't be my number one anymore.
Well, it's a slow burn, so
Yeah,
it's
for
kind
sure.
of
I remember that
you
being
have to have
super.
the taste for it, but I liked it a lot.
I like the
I
main
saw
guy.
it.
He's real cool.
The young kid?
No, the like the
Oh,
dad.
Joe Edgerton.
Sure.
That's the when we went to see that movie Loose, that was the guy, the kid. He was the
Oh,
actor that was there.
that's cool.
Yeah. Somebody at the end, somebody had one of the posters from that movie. It's for him to sign, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good
I
movie.
like
I like
it.
the
I
family
mean,
dynamic in it too.
yeah, it's one of the new like how Paranormal Activity kind of created a new era of scary movies for me. I think there's a new one coming with like The Witch and It Comes at Night and
Yeah.
Hereditary. There's a new one that focuses more on relationships and story rather than scares, and they
Mm.
want to get you in your mind rather than making you kind of scared in the moment.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too, that's your generational thing, is that you like ones that make you think.
Mhm.
If you look at your list, it's all movies that are super out of the box and have more of an underlying theme rather than just a demon is haunting you.
Yeah. I mean, Paranormal Activity did that for me. But
Yeah, I think that one is there's like a lot of surface level things I like about it though. Like the story is okay, but I like that you don't see the enemy, like you don't see the demon. I
yeah,
like that it's
yeah,
found
chicken
footage
feet.
and they use it in really what'd you say?
Yeah, chicken feet.
Oh yeah. I like the behind the scenes of it a lot, and I think that's what like colors my opinion of it a lot.
Yeah.
But cool. I mean, you surprised me with some of your picks in a good way.
I think if outside of this podcast, because I didn't want to add the movies that we've seen. I think
Oh yeah,
I
me
think the
neither.
first two would be in there.
I
Creep and The Witch. They'd
I
definitely
don't
be
know.
there.
Maybe I would knock Sinister out for one of them, but I don't know if I'd put both of them.
Yeah, I would knock Saw off, and I would knock
Well, yeah, you should put a movie you have seen.
It Follows. Oh, It Follows. I would knock off too. I'd probably rank. I don't know, but those would be on there.
I am curious though. I mean, I know I was like, fuck your opinion, I don't care, but like I am curious about other people's top fives. So maybe I'll put something out next week so that people can tell us.
Yeah,
Because I'd like to see it.
yeah.
I
I
won't
want to
scare
know
me
if you're wrong or
spoil
not.
about them. If I'm wrong about my opinion.
No, that's you towards our audience. I
Yeah,
just want
yeah,
to know
yeah.
if you're wrong. Yeah, she'll just type
So
in. She'll reply, say wrong, wrong next.
no, I won't even type out words. I'll just do thumbs up, thumbs down. And I'll let you
Just
know.
N for no.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'll like it if I do, and if you don't get a like, then you know what that means.
Yeah, you already know.
Alrighty, well, it's that time to tell us
All
your
right,
pick.
let's do it. I
And
spent a
just to
lot of time.
remind everybody,
New
sorry, let me
genre,
just,
new
yeah,
everything.
it's gonna be maybe a new genre. It'll just be totally different, a total 180 from what we did before. So we won't be scaring anybody anymore. It won't be
Yeah,
spooky.
sorry if you don't like horrors or if you're just not a big fan and that's kept you from listening. I'm not sure if you'd be here, but
The next one is Saw, though, so get over it. I'm
no,
kidding.
I'm not gonna do horror
All right, what's
because
the next
that'd be
one?
too much. All right, the next one I'm super excited for. Like, oh, it took me a long time. I knew what I wanted to do, but it took me a long time to get there. All right, so we're gonna be talking about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
All right.
All right, that's it. Bye.
Is there anything you want to tell us? I mean, there's.
It's on Netflix. It's an animated movie. It's obviously about Spider-Man, and it's been a pretty big movie. If you haven't seen it, I'd be very surprised. But I knew I wanted something lighthearted. I wanted something funny. I was almost gonna pick Scott Pilgrim versus the World, but as I was looking at like movies on Netflix, Spider-Man came up, and it's very similar style. How they're both like comic book. You can see like whenever someone takes a punch, you see like blam or like the graphic. And
Has a good
just
style.
yeah, very very unique style. Both of the movies, but Spider-Man. It's a good pivot point. You said when I told you,
Yeah.
a very good pivot point, and I love that movie. Definitely my favorite movie in the past. Who knows how long,
All
but very
right.
good
Well,
movie. I'm excited for it.
talk more
For
about it, and I'll tell you my long-awaited ranking of all Spider-Man movies. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, that we should do that. Or we should just talk about our favorite Spider-Man. We'll talk about the controversy about Tom Holland, if that's still a thing. Hopefully it gets fixed.
I do have a
Because
lot of opinions about that, so we'll see.
yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about it when we get there. But yeah, that's our
All right, I'm
movie.
excited.
So watch it. It's on Netflix, which is really cool. Um, yeah, that's it.
All
Yeah.
right.
Any last thoughts, comments,
Um, I have
questions?
a little Spider-Man story.
Oh,
I was gonna save it for the next one, but I could tell it now. So the other day, and you can cut this out if you want, but the other day I tried to kill a spider. It was a little one, but it got away, and so I was like, "Oh, I'll just see it again and I'll kill it." Never did, but the next day I woke up with 2 spider bites on my leg. So I am Spider-Man.
he came back.
Bye.
Like, I'm gonna get you.
So yeah, that was my Spider-Man story. I am
That's
Spider-Man,
really
and I'm so excited to see this movie.
not even Spider Woman. Just
No, my friend was like, "What if?" I was like, "Well." I was talking to her about it, and I was like, I mean, I don't mind being Spider-Man, but I don't want to get rid of my glasses.
Oh my gosh.
She was like, what if it just made you get rid of your glasses, but you got no powers, no strength, no nothing?
Honestly, I take it because nothing.
I like my glasses. All right,
I mean,
well,
still
maybe
wear
I'll
'em,
learn. I'll learn about what my future is then through this movie.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my God. All right. We have to end this.
Yeah, we have to end it. All right.
Bye.
I'll talk to you later. Bye.